Ever felt like you don't belong here on Earth? Well, maybe, just maybe. Your soul hails from a remote star system, and the deck I'll be showing you today will help you to remember your galactic origins. This deck is a wild mix of sci-fi, new age spirituality, sprinkled with UFO. Whether you take it literally or just enjoy the galactic imagery, there is a lot to unpack here. Hi, this is Jay with Lunaco Tarot, where I bring you weekly tarot and oracle deck reviews to inspire your readings. Today, we'll be looking at the Galactic Star Tarot, a deck published by Hay House and created by Alexandra Hanley and Pam Chan. And in this review, we'll go through the guidebook, do a flip through, one card read, and if you stay until the end of the video, I'll share with you my honest, as always, view on who this deck is for and its pros and cons. And the idea behind this deck is that souls from remote galaxies reincarnate here on Earth, and they're called starseeds. And they're doing it to elevate their consciousness or to help other souls called Earthlings that only started their journey and haven't reincarnated yet to ascend their consciousness. And they're helped by those beings called star guides. And this deck is basically helps you to reconnect with your cosmic origins and elevate your consciousness through messages sent to you by the star guides. Let's have a quick look at 4 cards that stood out for me before we do the full review. Cards are quite thick. Let's see how thick they are. Yeah, that's pretty thick. So it's 0.4. My Rider-Waite deck, I think, is 0.35, which is, yeah, these are slightly thicker, but they're okay though. Like they're quite flexible. They don't feel like cardboard, and it's easy to shuffle through them. Now these are the strength card I mentioned. They're just reimagining this really cool looking creature. Looks like almost from How to Train Your Dragon cartoon. I quite like it. So the world is a pretty cool looking card. I think it's a homage to a couple of things. One is probably Space Odyssey 2002. I remember this child looking at Earth, I think, but I think it represents the star beings protecting Earth. Now there's a homage here to Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams, I think it was. So this is the 42 is the ultimate answer to the question of life, right? It's pretty cool. The Judgment card, I quite like it as well. It's a cool reimagining, and this tree just something really ethereal about it. I quite like it, and I do like the Knight of Discs. This fox here with horns, I think, is a really well designed card that stands out quite a bit. So the Galactic Star Tarot deck uses a traditional RWS structure, though they made some changes to the deck suits. So instead of using pentacles, we're using something called discs, which sort of talks about how the intergalactic beings do not use money, and they use these technological objects called discs. The box is pretty sturdy. You can see the cardboard is quite thick, and it's got this message here: take the next step in your divine ascension, following the theme of the deck. Now the guidebook is not just a little white book. It does feel that it's been cut here, like, you know, it's almost like it's didn't fit into the size of the paper here, and you can actually see it's also been cut here. It's almost like they haven't figured out how to fit the whole image, or it hasn't been formatted properly. Now in the guidebook, this gets a little bit interesting because they introduce a bit of a lore here behind this deck, and it seems like they're only touching it a little bit. I'll tell you at the end of the video why I think that is. But basically, to give you a bit of a explanation what's behind this deck, the idea there that it's focused on these star guides, and basically these intergalactic beings that help the starseed and earthers to ascend in a spiritual journey. And basically the idea there that earthers, that are souls that only live on Earth, they haven't traveled yet, we eventually become those, and starseeds are those lonely ones who actually feeling lonely, some of us who've been hopping from one planet to another one, and now they spending their time on Earth having this spiritual contract to elevate or evolve their consciousness to the next level, right? So with this, the major arcana cards, they are those the star guides, what they call them. Now minor arcana is a little bit different. So they basically, the lore goes that there is this galactic earth council made up of beings who protect and support humanity, and they basically volunteering to help with Earth as a planet ascension. In the you will see them later. And Galactic Earth Council is basically the pages, knights, queens, and kings who sort of sitting around, or some of them are part of this spaceships that they're emissaries for pages, knights are scouts, queens are mystical advisors, and kings are galactic leaders, right? Kind of similar idea. Now, each card has something called a star mantra, like this one here, for instance, the sun, which you're supposed to sort of proclaim it or use it when you read the card. And the way they use the deck, there's obviously a couple of spreads they suggest to use, but they're pretty standard ones. I think they just slightly rename them to fit the theme of the deck. Like Galactic Influence spread is just 3 cards and kind of positioned in a different way, and same as here. And the idea there that you looking for help from these guys. Each card is a message from a star guide that help you with ascension. That's basically the premise of it. Now the peep cards are starseeds who live on Earth, and that's the idea that they represent day-to-day interactions. So the starseeds, actually, you'll see them. Some of them look pretty alien to me, right? So it's kind of interesting that I find that the book and the images of the deck not necessarily correspond with each other. And also almost like this, the book was written separately from the cards, which I'll talk about later. All right, let's have a look at the cards. So I know that's something that you're probably most excited about. I do try to entertain you throughout the video, so you get the full picture of what these decks are for usually. So, all right, the full, pretty standard. I would say the dog is pink, but everything else is your average full, I guess. The magician here is a female figure, Saudi Egyptian, Ankh, and the galaxy backdrop, but other than that, it's the same. Now you will see that a lot of male characters in the deck have been replaced with female characters or aliens. So High Priestess, similar thing here, just in the back there's planets and I think some, I want to say it's Milky Way, but I've got no idea what that is. Also, I wasn't sure if this is the right way to portray, how she's placing her foot on the moon. I think it's not exactly perfect. I think I probably wouldn't use that sort of thing, that moon is sort of sacred through the tarot deck, and yeah, that was a little bit strange. Empress here, different. See here, I found that's a good example. They replaced it with an alien looking creature. The lavas look like elves living in a, I don't know what that is. I guess it's a bit of like a river or ocean filled with river, and I'm assuming it's an alien angel. This is an interesting one. The Chariot is another card, has been redesigned completely. So you've got this, the interlocked double pyramid structure, and creatures look a bit robotic. Like I think it's a sci-fi sort of thing. Same idea. Cool card, the Strength. I like this is not a lion anymore. This is this dragon, very cute looking, like almost like How to Train Your Dragon, but more spiritual ascending one. Now Emperor card, I kind of look at him. He looks a bit evil, almost like a Loki one with little horns, or at least not happy one. And he's got this like a weird black hole here. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, I'm not sure what that symbolizes. The Hermit, very alien looking one. It's got a little star there, and yeah, I don't know what that is. Like souls are rising from a volcano, similar to a popular, popular sci-fi. Wheel of Fortune, just reimagining of the same thing. Same with Justice here. Now Hangman, I think this is so alien hanging down on a ship, I think it is. So yeah, again, another reinvention and replacement of a character. The Death, I'm not sure what this is. maybe it's death of a star here, but same idea. Like there's people observing this. Normally you wouldn't get that. Are they part of this? Is this what's going to happen to the ship? I'm not sure. Temperance. Temperance here is different. I think this is like almost drinking wine in a zero gravity. It's kind of interesting take. Devil looks like a Hulk here. This is green too. I don't know, maybe it was the inspiration. And same idea here though, like the lasso around these people who can probably walk away. Though in this case, I'm not sure what's going on. Are they holding phones? I think they're talking on the phone, maybe. It symbolizes modern addiction. Tower, pretty similar card. I like the star. She's sort of like shining down this sunlight here. Or maybe this starlight. The moon, a cool reimagining. I like this. It's not a goat. It looks like a goat maybe because it's got horns, but it's a black dog. Crustacean is still there and an alien looking sun. It's pretty cool. And then there's like a psychedelic looking gate. The sun is interesting. A lot of sunflowers and a lot of suns. It probably should be called This Sun's card. And it's an alien looking child with little horns. I do like the Judgment card here. It's pretty cool reimagining, don't you think? It's like a rainbowy looking tree, very ethereal, and yeah, I like that. It's good. Yeah, this card I quite like as well. So it reminds me of the Space Odyssey 2002. Yeah, also the aces here designed quite well. I like the idea, but it's a reimagining of existing aces, of course. The Two of Wands. So this is that's another redesign of a original card. Same as Three of Wands. I quite like it. This lady here rushing to the airport, and she can travel anywhere. And I guess the JFK is still popular airport in intergalactic space. Four of Wands, another redesign. A party under the I guess galactic sky, some kind of sky. This looks to me as a Star Wars fighting Star Trek and something else. They also have flags, strangely enough, in the sky. Unusual. Six of Wands, another reimagining of the cards. The Seven of Wands. So, lady standing on the ground. The Eight of Wands, very similar. I think it's redesigned just. I think we were, the cards look the same. They normally add the ship or planets in the back. That looks like it was a artistic choice here. The Nine of Wands and Battler. Ten of Wands. That looks like an image from Star Wars movie when they just came out, from a ship. Ship obviously looks different, but kind of similar looking idea. Now this is the Galactic Earth Council cards. If I remember, I mentioned. So in this deck, in this one, I can't remember the name of races, but this one they look more like leopards or like giant cats. Another thing you'll find that while the creatures are quite prominent, the knights would normally fly one of these. It doesn't tell you what they are in the book. I think it's one of my pet peeves that the lore is not explained well. It's not connected to the cards. Queen of Wands, little tribute to the little black cat, but this is Siamese cat this time. An interesting looking creature. You won't find description what that is, unfortunately, in the book too, so you just kind of have to use your imagination. Another cool looking ace. This card, look at this, right? I'm pretty sure these girls here, it's actually Pam and Alexandra, and what you will not find here, symbolism is a little bit different. Like here you got, obviously this is like a soulmates meeting, but it's a dog and a parrot for some reason. And then I assume it's Pam and Alexandra in the back laughing. So I guess it's them meeting each other like a spiritual soulmates. There's nothing about it in the book. And that's why I find it some ways reimagining it. It's like in context, it's more almost like you want to be part of a secret club because it doesn't really tell you what it is. And you'll see some of them, like this one here, Three of Cups. There's another reimagining with planets, but to me it looks like Santorini, don't you think? Greece, very popular, and then they're drinking this kind of galactic champagne, I guess. Maybe it's a card from their holiday. I think it's almost like it's their friend's project that you want to be in on what's going on, right? It's sort of like their little secret club that you're not a part of. Four of Cups here, another redesign. this is another weird one, right? Because look at the cups, they're right there. So she's not looking at the cups, she's looking at her laptop, and she's almost missing out on all 4 cups here, not just one in the back. 5 of cups, it's kind of similar, regret. And you always get a spaceship. The card looks exactly the same as the original one. You get a spaceship in the back. That's how it rolls here. 6 of cups, the nostalgia. That's another one, illusions here, right? So it's like illusions on a laptop rather than here in his mind, which I think is cool redesign. I quite like it. That's another cool card. Go walking away from a Cadillac, and it's 4 cups. And it's obviously Area 51 here. This card, I'm not quite get what this is. It's a wish card, but it must be a wish in their mind again, because a lot of it is, I think, is very deeply personal in this deck, right? 10 of Cups, the family, same idea. Page of Cups. So these ones, they look like elves to me. Knight of Cups is riding a horse, so these look almost like human, I guess. And this is lady from the box. You already met her. And King of Cups. So these guys either elves or humans, I think. Another ace here. Quite a nice one too. 2 of Swords, illusion. I like this yes and no, like a very modern take on this. Now, she's not blinded. She's wearing virtual reality mask, goggles. A few planets in the back, of course. Yeah, it's like reimagining, slightly, yeah, confusing, I guess. 3 of Swords, a robotic heart or alien heart, I guess. That's a cool card. Same symbolism. 5 of Swords. Another planet here. 6 of Swords. This guy reminds me of a character from the Watchmen, Dr. Manhattan. It looks a bit like him. This is a cool card. I think it's a right placement of UFO here. You know, a bit of a conspiracy or some secret behind the scene plan going on with cows being kidnapped by aliens. And there's a lot of alien symbolism here, so it's kind of interesting, I guess, as they connected the galactic beings, a similar card, galactic beings with UFOs. Like, good example here. There's another reimagining of 9 of Swords here, a little very heavily UFO, of course, themed. Cool looking dog. It reminds you of another character for a cartoon, but this truth is out there. And the other one is very common phrase in coaching circle, trust the process, right? 10 of Swords, this card is a little bit silly to me. So the girl, I think she's alive, or maybe she's creepily dead with her eyes out, but there's a ship coming with a little red cross on it. So it was like reimagining, it has to be a spaceship, it looks like from Star Trek, and it's got a little red cross. So I think she's alive and they come in to save her. That's the whole point. Now these guys look like creatures from Avatar movie. I'm not sure what the race name is. I can't remember that, but yeah, same idea. You wouldn't know what these creatures are, but they're just there. Queen of Swords, the King of Swords. Not sure if I like this king. He looks a bit, I don't know, cold and angry, I guess. And there's a robot dog with him. And now we're looking Ace of Discs, right? So this is Pentacles, if you remember. Pentacles represent, well, discs represent this kind of technological device that is valued by these galactic beings. 2 of Discs, good representation of balance. Another mentioning of Secret Club. I don't know what Athena is, who that person is. It must be some reference to their life, to the creator's life. I assume it's Pam, because she was designed this whole thing. Yeah, and then here, I guess she's pretty happy balancing those things out. It's just like sort of cool being. Another reimagining here of a traditional card with Mastership. Now this card I have a bit of an issue with, right? So 4 of Discs, 4 of Pentacles. If you remember, is a guy holding on to these pentacles. Now this lady is doing some kind of a music exercise with they look like drums to me. There's no holding on to things. They kind of like tapping away, right? And also another thing, if you look in the book, while they're talking about discs being this multi-dimensional being's preferred technological device, in the book they'll talk about money, how you need to hold on to your money and everything else. It's a bit of a confusing message. If it's spiritual reality, why there is money in the book? almost like, there's some ideas in the book that are not connected to the deck that much. 5 of discs, I do like this one. It's reimagining with modern looks, and I quite like, I would say it's a St. Mary in there. I think that it's quite well designed. 6 of discs. Missing important element here, the scales. This charitable person giving away his wealth, but at the same time measuring as much as he's giving away, or trying to balance his money. Missing on this card. 7 of discs, similar idea. 8 of discs. Yeah, so it's a most of mastership, I think. 9 of discs, parrot instead of a falcon, and I guess this is the same idea. Slightly darker card, if you agree with me. It doesn't have that sort of happy looking thing. A theme. Now, 10 of discs, I do have an issue with this card as well. This represents to me a happy family too, right? In a sort of wealthy house, I assume. It's missing the fact that the Rider-Waite deck family looks maybe dysfunctional, as in like an old person who's been looked after, and women potentially moving out or coming in. With this one, I would say it's similar to the 10 of Cups to me, missing a bit of symbolism, right? Kind of sort of saying that if you obtain the discs, then you are a happy person. Really cool looking robotic fox with horns. I do like it. Now these guys look a little bit more like creatures from Avatar. I think they're all very blue. The magical cow sitting here. Now we're going to do one card read now, and I will give you a bit of my view on who this deck is for and why would I use it. I think this deck, while it's got a good potential, the lore is not clearly explained, so it's very difficult to understand what's happening with this. Also, this deck looks like a personal project that you're not been let in on what's going on there. There's photos or images of Pam and Alexandra sitting there. It's almost like you need to know them well to be connected, and I'll share with you why I think I think it's been a deliberate choice. Also, this deck, I don't find it very well balanced. While they replace a lot of male characters with either aliens or female characters, I think it's probably, even if you want to use this for reading for yourself, if you're female, or you want to read for ladies, right? I think you'll find it difficult because it doesn't have some of those characters there, and then I find that whenever something is unbalanced, it'll work really well with something and won't work well with something else at all, right? So, all right, let's do one card read on the theme of the day out of this and see what happens, right? The Wheel of Fortune. So traditionally, this would represent a karmic wheel, and the events of the day that may be happening may not be necessarily in your control, but it's also remembering that as with bad things, they come and go, good things come and go, and sometimes we just have to roll with it. And I would say it'll be a day of some events potentially happening outside of your control, and being able to remember that life is ever changing is a message of this card usually. So if we have a look in the book, this is what you get. You have just tapped into the frequency of the cosmic wheel of fortune for your good fortune, luck, and prosperity. So, okay, so this is focused more on prosperity and luck. What you have been manifesting and asking for is already here, and it's on its way to you. It's in your karma to collect these beautiful treasures and prosperity from the shore now. The universe has you back, and everything you want, need, and require is being provided to you. So Pam, I looked at the websites of authors. Pam is really into manifesting. She's a coach, I think, in that, and this is probably makes sense because this is aligned with the teachings quite a lot. So retrograde is a reverse meaning. So the wheel keeps spinning, and then the wheel of fortune is upside down. It means you may be experiencing unexpected challenges in your life you're not thrilled about. It can go either way, by the way. That's the whole idea of a wheel of fortune. You don't have to stay in this place for long because the wheel will spin back. Exactly what I was saying, to good fortune again. Focus on what you want. Keep showing up. Take aligned action, and soon you will be able to flow of your abundance again. So here you go. It's the same manifestation message here. Star guide message. So this is a message from the galaxy beings to you. Like the wheel of fortune, stars and planets are in constant state of motion, spinning and revolving around each other. The cyclical nature of the universe is what maintaining harmony and balance. Embrace the cosmic flow and trust that you're being carried by its divine current. And this is the star mantra I was talking about. I embrace change and trust that good fortune keeps flowing my way. So, who I think this deck is for, right? This deck left me a little bit confused. I was very excited when I initially got it, right? And if you saw my short I made on this one, I thought this is going to be the one, right? And then I started reading the lore. It's some of his cards are not very well explained, and it's like a mix of Star Wars, New Age spirituality, and some esoteric concepts that I don't fully connect with. So there is a idea of a soul contracts. There's idea of intergalactic beings, like very sci-fi, and I think this deck leans really heavily into feminine energy. So if you're into that, then this could be a good choice for you. I think that my take on it is that the good deck is a balanced deck because you want to use it for versatile type of reading. I think this one is not particularly versatile. It talks a lot about manifestation, so maybe if you're working towards that, that would be good. But it can be very confusing as well because of these spiritual beings, and it's not really well explained what they do. Now, I had a look on authors' websites, and it looks like it connects to a larger belief system. I think it's called Awakened Mystery School, and it's one of the teachers. I think both of the ladies, they teach that. Maybe it's explained better in other materials that they provide outside of this, and this is what I'm thinking. If you follow creators really well and you understand their teachings, so for me, it looks like a hook into the bigger picture they have, this spiritual framework and, you know, abundance and manifestation. I think if you want a structured tarot deck, this is going to be frustrating for you. Like, you know, how would you connect to that? Also, it's there's no gravity in space, right? How's this guy hanging down from the cables? Things like that, right? If you like balanced decks, this is not going to be one for you. If you need well thought out lore, like mythology Athenica, that's like well-designed lore based on existing Finnish mythology. That will be the one. I think if you like this sort of ethereal-looking images and a bit of sort of like astral world, the Astral Tarot by Los Carabeo that I reviewed. It's one of my popular decks by you as well. Just check it out. Probably going to be a slightly better choice. And yeah, I was excited about this deck, but more I explored it, I realized that it just felt so unfinished. And two different projects, you know, the guidebook and the deck seemed a bit disconnected. This is it for today's video. And if you're still watching, you're clearly into this kind of thing. So maybe it's time for you to subscribe. If you have a look in the description, there are ways you can support this channel. There's a new video waiting for you every week. This is Jay with Lunar Code Tarot, and I'll see you in the next one.